How much money do you need to buy your very own investment property? We're going to work it out. Hi team, if we've not met before, I am Katie, founder of KO Estates, helping investors on their property journey. Today we are going to dig into the detail of exactly how much money we need to buy our very own investment property. We are going to find out the minimum requirement for us to get started in this space, to buy it outright ourselves. It's a question I get asked all the time. How much do I need to get started? How much do I need to get started? So this video, we are going to find out exactly that number. Okay, so if we are going to buy a property in the conventional way, buying it ourselves, and we are looking for the cheapest possible way to do so, we are going to need to use a mortgage to leverage our money, to borrow against the banks to help us buy the property. If we are going down a typical lender, again, things can always change, but typically the minimum lending amount is going to be $60,000. And right now, as an investor, we typically have to put down 30% of the property value as a deposit. So if the minimum we can borrow is $60,000 and we need to put down a 30% deposit, that means the minimum purchase price is going to be £90,000. Does that make sense? If we know the price of the property that we need to find is £90,000, we can leverage our money. We need to put £30,000 minimum down as our deposit. The rest is going to be topped up by a mortgage. So far, all we have put in is £30,000 to the deal. Now, unfortunately, there are a few fees and other things that we need to consider to make sure that we can actually get this purchase right the way through. The first one being your mortgage fee. For actually brokering that mortgage, for getting the mortgage set up, mortgage fees can typically be anything from £250 to £1,000. For the purpose of this video, we're going to go with $250 to find the very minimum that we will need. So far, we've got the £30,000 deposit for the property. We've got £250 for the mortgage fees. Next up is legals. We need a solicitor to take us through the entire process and to legally help us own this property. That's all through conveyancing, and we need a really good solicitor in order to do so. Solicitors can charge different amounts, and it will typically be based on property price. Along with a few other factors, it's typically worked out based on the purchase price. Now, luckily for us, we're going for a cheap property to make this as low as possible. When I bought a property at a similar price to this example, I was charged £800 for the conveyancing. So again, for this example, let's use that. So far, we've got the £30,000 deposit. We've got £250 mortgage broker fee. We have £800 in legals. Next up is a bit of a hefty one and will take up a chunk of the budget: stamp duty. It's something we cannot avoid, and as investors, we are charged a premium for that. On a £90,000 property, we are going to have to pay 3% stamp duty, something we cannot avoid, so something we have to budget for. On £90,000 property, that is going to come in at £2,700. So we've got the £30,000 deposit, we've got £250 in mortgage broker fees, we've got £800 in solicitors, we have £2,700 on stamp duty. Another cost associated in the purchase would be surveys. Now, a survey is not legally required, so you would take the pick whether you want to go for a survey or not. And if you do go for a survey, there are so many different levels of survey, which again will change the costs associated with it. If you are buying an older property, and typically at that price point it's going to be an older property, I'd always advise you have that survey done to make sure you are not buying something and it's going to be riddled with problems, because it could end up costing you an absolute fortune. Survey fees can be from a couple of hundred right up to thousands and thousands of pounds. For this example, let's use £1,000. That seems to be the average amount paid on survey costs. Okay, so far we've got the £30,000 deposit, we've got £250 mortgage fees, we have £800 solicitors fees, we have £2,700 in stamp duty, we've got £1,000 in a survey, and that would sum up all our costs associated with a purchase. So all in, that would total £34,750. Amazing. That is the cheapest we are ever going to get through this entire process. As I said, all those different costs can vary depending on which expert you use, where you are buying. If we take a very vanilla investment property, and all things being well, we can buy an investment property for just less than £35,000. So if you have £35,000, then start this process. That money sat in the bank is only going to go down and down and down and worth less and less and less with inflation. So my mindset towards my savings is as soon as I hit that 35k, I should be looking to invest it and invest again and again and again and again to build up my portfolio. So if you are sat there with 35,000 in the bank, then start this process because you are missing out on rental income for every month you put this off. You are actually putting yourself at a disadvantage and your money is going to become worth less and less and less. So if you are at that point where you have 35,000, then brilliant. That opens a door for you and you can actually look at investing yourself. Now, at the start of my property career, I did not have that type of money lying about in my bank account. And I want to reassure you that if you are sat here and you have not quite got that initial amount needed yet, there are still options for you. I've done so many other videos of how to get started in property with zero money. Never, ever, ever use money as an excuse. If you have that money ready to go, then don't waste another second, get in there, start investing it. But if you've not, do not let that put you off because there are no money down strategies. There are ways that you can build up your deposit in property. You can earn whilst you learn to generate that deposit, that 35,000 that you need to really get your foot on the ladder. So do not get put off if you have not got that money yet. You just need to look down a different strategy. And if you have got that money, then what are you waiting for? You need to get that invested ASAP to prevent it going down anymore and start generating income on the cash that you have available. It's a question I get asked all the time, so I'm so glad we got a chance to actually run through and see the very minimum that we would need typically for a property investment. Hope that makes sense. Catch you on the next video and good luck on your investment journey.